Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Radka. Today we are focusing on our lower body. You will need one bolster, blanket, two blocks, and eye mask. So bolster looks like this. It's definitely a firmer pillow. However, if you don't have it, you can grab few similar pillows to it or several blankets that will do the trick. If you don't have a blocks, you can use thick blocks, or chair sometimes works as well in certain situations, certain postures. Have some water. Today I'm recording it on 31st of October, which is Halloween and so on, which is all about death and rebirth. And with connection of our hips, it's releasing suppressed emotions and releasing anything that no longer serve us. Releasing any old skin, releasing any version that might be sabotaging you, might be holding you back from starting the new project, for becoming that new version of yourself. So I would highly recommend you to maybe pause and bring a journal and maybe write few words what will be good to release today during this practice as your intention, if that resonates. You can also bring the journal next to your mat and just have it there, and if something comes up, you can always write it down. Also, I recommend you to maybe light up a few candles, maybe incense, anything that will bring you more at ease and harmony in this moment. Anything that brings you into this harmonious, calm state of mind. And with helping you that, we'll start with centering and breath work. So you can sit down cross-legged on the bolster or block or blanket. And you can cross your legs so you can extend them, anything that feels comfortable to you. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze, give yourself your shoulder rolls or neck rolls, anything that feels good. And then palms can go down if you would like to ground yourself, which I would recommend for this class. Or you can have one hand on top of your chest or the other on top of your belly to connect with yourself a little bit more. And let's just take a few moments here to truly arrive to your space, to arrive to your body by simply connecting with your breath. And let's start with 2 unified breaths together to let go of anything that doesn't serve us, maybe letting go of the day, letting go of whatever happened before this class. So take a long, deep sip of air through your nose. And then open your mouth and release all the air out. Let's take it one more time, longer, deeper sip of air. And open your mouth and release. Lower your shoulders down, release any tension that you might be feeling in your body. Shake it off. Good job. So slowly connecting with your breath. Start looking inward, seeing how is the weather today within you. Maybe on next inhale, scan your body from your head to toes. And see if you're holding any tension between your eyebrows, clenching your jaw, shrugging your shoulder towards your ears, maybe making a fist with your hands, gripping anywhere in your body. And then using your exhale as releasing those areas that needs to be released, sending them some love, softening. You can take a few rounds of that. So using your inhales as Observation is acknowledgement of what's happening, and exhale of releasing, softening, letting go. And from your physical sensations, you can move to your mind. See how is your mind doing, where your thoughts are going. Are you in the present moment? Are you traveling to the past or future? Without any judgment, just bring yourself back to this present moment on your mat, in this posture, with your breath. And how are you feeling at this moment? Could be just one word, maybe it's exhausted, stressed, tired. Maybe you are peaceful. And then take a few moments here if you want to set different intention that I started this class with. Feel free to take a moment now and ask yourself, what do you need the most right now? And we'll start a breath work. We'll inhale to your nose on count of 4. Hold your breath on count of 7. And exhale through your nose on count of 8. This breath work is great for relaxation and calming your nervous system. Be gentle with yourself. If you haven't breathed like this, it will be really challenging, so see how far can you take it. It's okay if you are not able to breathe to that specific count. Just do your best. We'll go through several rounds, so see if you can progress each round. So at the beginning, I will be cueing and counting for you, and then I will just start cueing, so you will have some space of silence between. So open your mouth, release all the air out from your lungs, from your belly. Close your mouth, inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. The last round, inhale. Pause. Exhale. Slowly come back to your natural rhythm of your breath and just observe how you're feeling. If anything changed within your body, within your mind, within your emotional state. Very nice. Alright, make sure that you have all your props ready. So if you are sitting on a bolster, a block, a blanket, highly recommend you to stay seated on your prop. And then you can extend your legs outside, pressing your feet down, bend into your knees, and then maybe give yourself a little bit of a windshield wiper. So just releasing any tension that you might be feeling from a cross-legged seated position. Sometimes it happens, mostly when we're sitting for a little bit longer than usual. Feel free to point and flex your toes, give yourself a little bit of a movement, a little bit of a blood flow to your lower extremities. And then we'll be setting out for fire log. So I do prefer to sit on the floor without any props for this posture. So fire log, you bend your right knee, have your shin in one line from your knee to your heel, flexing your foot, and then you stack your left leg on top. So your knee is on top of your heel, and then your heel is on top of your knee. Sometimes some people might have this situation happening, which is for most of the athletes. You can have a blanket and put between your knee and your heel. If that feels nice, this is a great way of starting position. If this still feels like it's too much work, then you can bring the top leg in front of the top shin in front of the other shin. So if this feels the best for you, I would probably use this shape. And then you can bring blocks in front of your shins. And again, for those who don't know, blocks have 3 different levels. So you have the lower level, middle level, and the highest level. And depends how you feel today, you have to play around with it. So today I want to go middle level just because I'm a little bit sore and I don't want to overdo it. And then I like to bring a bolster if it feels like the tower. I always call it tower. It's not tall enough. You can always bring more stuff. You can also put blanket and then ground down to your glutes. Make sure your feet are flexed. Oops. All right. And then just lean with your heart forward and then just relax. And as we start breathing at the beginning of our class, see if you can maybe inhale to your nose on count of 4 and exhale on count of 6 or 8. This way, you are calming your nervous system, you're calming your mind, you're softening underneath your breath. And just breathe towards your hip with the intention of releasing the sensation you might be feeling, the stuck energy, the stuck emotions. We'll be here for 3 minutes.
Make sure that you are unclenching your jaw. You're not shrugging your shoulders to your ears. You're pulling your shoulder blades down. And then just enjoy. And just observe if there's more space for you. Maybe you can lower yourself down into a lower level of the blocks, or you can just more soften into this posture. You're almost arriving to a meditative state.
And just like that, 2 minutes are over. Alright, you can keep the props as they are because you will be using the same setup for the other leg, other hip. So feel free to take your time here, just a little bit. Release anything that you might be feeling. And then just remember which leg was on top or in front of your shin, and then switch. So the bottom leg goes on top. And again, align your heel on top of your knee and your knee on top of your heel, flexing your feet. Ground down through your hips. And the other side might look completely different. Just try to have similar setup so we'll balance those two sides. And once you're ready, allowing yourself to lean forward and down. And then enjoy. And allowing yourself to soften here, connecting with your breath, activating your nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, arriving to a deep relaxation despite of the sensations that your hip is providing for you. And then you want to exhale are longer than your inhales. And just check with your face that you're not holding any tension, pulling your shoulder blades down. Just a quick check in here. For some reason, those 3 minutes feel so short today. Don't know why. Anyway, let's move the props for a second to the side. Extending your legs, giving yourself a little bit of a windshield wipers, or just see what you need. I am extremely sore today. This feels really nice. Alright, our next posture is a butterfly. So pressing your feet together, toes are facing outwards, and then your heels are pulling closer to your pelvis. For me, it's really easy to pull my knees down towards the floor, but I know it's not for most of the human beings. So if that's the case for you, it's all good. Just maybe put a blocks underneath your knees just to help you to relax here. If you're not gonna put the blocks, the gravity will be pulling your knees down a lot and it might feel too much. So I always recommend put blocks underneath your knees just because even though we're stretching here, we're deepening into those poses. We are trying to have our nervous system in our parasympathetic nervous system. So if the blocks are not underneath your knees, then you are stretching more than you want to. And that's when we enter more of the sympathetic nervous system. Again, it is your practice. I'm just letting you know, always recommend that. This is going to be more comfortable for you than if you are like this. Even if you're like this, just allow your knees to relax, your hips. All right. So once you establish the shape for your knees and you feel comfortable there, you can play around with your heels and your pelvis, how close you want your heels. In this case, because it's a restorative class, I will just move your heels slightly forward so it already gives me a little bit more of release. And then lean forward and see where you fall. You do want to lower your head down. So for me right now, I probably could just go with the block. However, if you need a little bit more, you can use a bolster, which is a higher than a block. You can have a blanket, block, and bolster. Depends what you want to put your head on. Sometimes I like a softer landing than the block. So again, figure out where you want to be. So play around with the blocks underneath your knees. Play around with the distance from your pelvis to your heels. And then how much you want to lean and sink deeper into the posture. I am going to just use a block for myself, but please meet yourself wherever you're at and find your own variation. I will be here for 3 minutes, so enjoy. Now start connecting with your breath here. Again, longer exhales if possible. Softening underneath your breath, making sure you're not holding your breath. It's just an indication you went too far into the stretch. And there's no any benefits to hold your breath as you are stretching. So just take a few steps back and make sure you can breathe properly. Your whole body needs to be relaxed. And the only way you can be relaxed is when you breathe. Alright, slowly start coming out of this posture and move your props to the side. Close your knees like a book. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Let's just move onto our hands and knees to give ourselves a few getting cows to stretch our lower back, our back as well. So just find yourself onto your hands and your knees. And then on next inhale, drop your belly down, arch your back. As you exhale, start rounding your spine, push the floor away, bring your chin towards your chest. A few rounds of your cat and cow. One more. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round your spine. Very nice. From here, we'll enter into a frog pose. You can use blanket, you don't have to, but for those who maybe have a knee surgery or just know that you have a little bit problem with your knees, I would highly recommend it, and I would even recommend it if you don't have a problem with your knees. It's just a nice way of bringing a little bit of softening for ourselves as we enter into this posture. Let me just show you how we enter the posture, and then I will show you from different angle so you can really see the alignment, and then I help you set up the props that will bring the floor closer to you. So finding a tabletop and then sliding one knee outside of your hip and then the other. So you are having your knee in line with your hip and then your heel in line with your knee, and then you're flexing your feet outside. So your toes are facing the side walls. And you can play around, just hear how it feels. Some of you probably doing lots of weird faces like, this is painful. Yes. So it is a little bit, the sensation might be a little bit overwhelming for some of us. So bring your hips in line with your knees. This is where you feel the most stretch. However, when you start bringing your hips in front of your knees, you are out of the stretch. And then the same goes when you bring your knees behind your knees, even though I still feel that. So we will be holding this posture for 3 minutes. You can always move your hips forward to give yourself a little bit of a break if it gets too overwhelming. However, right now, when we use the props, you will see how nicer it is because you're bringing the floor closer to you. So let me just really show you the frog shape from the back so you can really see the alignment, because sometimes in my classes I see that people don't really understand the alignment as much. So again, I'm entering from my tabletop and then just sliding my knees out and then heels in line with the knees and then flexing the feet. Yeah? So this is where we are at. All right. So now when you understand the alignment of the frog, we'll make it more restorative friendly. So you can just see how it feels if you just use the bolster. So you extend your legs to either side and then bring the bolster closer to your pelvis. And then you can just chill here. If this feels like it's too much already, you can put one block underneath your head that will lift the floor a little bit closer to you. And again, you can see how that feels. If that's still not enough, you can use both blocks and bring the floor closer to you even more. Yeah. So again, figure out what works for you. I need to remove the microphone for this one just because you won't hear anything as I'm talking. So find your variation of this shape. For me, I do like to have the bolster on the floor and then have my head slightly lifted. I honestly can do it without any blocks because this is surprisingly my favorite posture. We'll be here for 3 minutes. This is a video, so if it gets too much, you can always get out from it. and then just go to the next posture. Just see, breathe through it. See, it will allow, as you are breathing, you will soften underneath the posture. I promise you. I used to hate this posture so much. Now I'm completely in love with it. You just need to allow yourself to stay long enough to understand the beauty of the posture. We'll be here for 3 minutes. Again, in your practice, make sure that you are honoring yourself, you're honoring what you're feeling. I'll let you know when we are halfway through if you are lying down on one cheek so you can switch it. Yeah? All right. Enjoy. Again, make sure you're breathing here. Make sure you're softening, allowing yourself to relax despite what you are feeling. Getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. We're halfway through. Switch. We are halfway through. Switch to the other cheek if you like. Alrighty. Slowly start pushing your hands towards the floor, push the floor away. And then start bringing your knees towards each other. And then sit down on your heels. Let it digest a little bit. Give yourself here a little bit of a moment. Just allow the energy settle in. Feel what you feel. Then give yourself your shoulder rolls, neck rolls. Beautiful. So we are actually entering our next posture, which is hero pose. So if you have a hard time to sit on your heels, you can have a block between your legs and sit down on the block to take some weight off of your legs. You can also have a bolster and sit like this. We'll be here for 3 minutes. For those who don't have any problem sitting on your heels, we'll take it a little bit to the next level. So this time you won't have your blanket a long way, like across the yoga mat. And then we'll be setting up tower, tallest level of your block. And then closer to you will be one level lower, so middle level. And you can always adjust it if this feels like you want a little bit of deeper stretch. You can always move it to middle level and then the lowest level. So they are always your option. Just the one farther away needs to be taller. As I said, I'm really sore today, so I'm just being gentle with myself. And then using the bolster to create a ramp. All right, so I will show you first of all the usual hero pose, and then if you are not able to enter it, there's still between we can do between between sitting on your heels and then doing the shape. So you will slide your legs on either side of the yoga blocks, sit down in front of the bolster, and then slowly lower yourself down onto the blocks. So this is one. If this already feels like you are having anxiety, you're stressing out, you're freaking out, then come back up. Okay. So if I'm actually gonna go into lower level here. So if that wasn't possible, think about windshield wipers. So when we do windshield wipers, right? So you can sit down in front of your bolster and then do windshield wiper, and then you can just lie down this way on the block like that on the bolster. So you will be still stretching your hip flexor. If so, this is one variation, and then I'll let you know when we are halfway through. Other variation is you can start with just one leg, and then the other will be extended. All right. So see which variation calls your name. You can do this one. You can do this one, or you can just slide your legs and do this one. We'll be here for 3 minutes. Choose your variation, and I'll let you know when we are halfway through. Let me just have it here so you can see it. So again, make sure you're honoring yourself. One is sitting on your heels, the other one is one leg is bent, the other one is extended. Or you are having windshield wiper legs, or you're in this position. And again, allowing yourself to connect with your breath. And naturally, we'll be arching all over backs. See if you can create a posterior pelvic tilt. So feeling the space between your lower back and the bolster. So I'm pushing my pelvis slightly forward, engaging my glutes here, pushing my pelvis towards the ceiling, bringing my navel in. And yeah, that stretches so much more. And we are halfway through for those who does do one side or one leg at a time. So switch and feel free to pause the video and then just play it again. This one you can actually stay for 5 minutes if you have better tolerance than others. So again, your practice, your choices. If you want to open your chest for the last minute, you can create 90 degrees in your elbows and just squeezing your shoulder blades and pulling your elbows, arms down towards the floor. Lower your hands down. Very nice. And then slowly push your lower back down towards the bolster. And then just sit down first. Take a moment here. And then just slowly come out from it. You can actually keep the setup of your, if you have the same setup as I do, you can keep it. We'll be setting up for our child's pose. So again, play around with a variation that works for you. You can make the blocks taller if you need it. This is how I love my child's pose setup. So I usually do the farther level is the middle level, and then the closer one is lower level of my blocks. And then I put a bolster on. If you feel top of your feet during your child's pose and you feel like a pressure, I recommend you again to put blanket under to just soften. And also for those who are like this, you can bring bolster or blanket and just support yourself. So you would be like that, yeah? So we always want to prop anything that needs to be propped, that needs to be softened. So you feel like you're not working at all. That's pretty much the purpose of restorative class, to soften underneath every single posture and just allowing the gravity to take over. There's no effort when it comes to you. I will be here for 6 minutes. I will let you know when we are. Let me just go a little bit back. I'll let you know when we're halfway through so you can switch to different cheek. I need to remove the microphone just because you won't hear anything I say. Again, so connecting your big toes together, widen your knees to either side of your yoga mat, bringing the bolster closer to your pelvis, and then start leaning forward and lie down on the bolster. I like to bring my hands grabbing the farther away block, just like that. Or you can also bring your hands between the blocks as well. And then just allow yourself to soften and relax and enjoy. Alright, we are halfway through. If you would like to switch to the other cheek, now is your chance. Alright, slowly push the floor away. Give yourself a little bit of a moment. Maybe sit on your heels or move your legs forward to stretch your legs. Maybe point, flex your toes. A little bit of a blood flow. Again, whatever feels good for you. Very nice. Alright, for this one you can remove the props to the side for a little bit. Actually, you might need the props. Depends, again, what variation you will choose. So you can have bolster and block ready. I'm just gonna create timer for 2 minutes because we'll be here just for 2 minutes. All right, so lie down on your back. You can bring knees towards your chest. Give yourself a bit of a wiggle, wrapping your hands around your shins. Maybe moving side to side or creating a little bit of a circles. And start drawing your right knee closer to your chest and extend your left leg forward. Maybe roll your right ankle. Give yourself a little bit of a moment of exploring what needs to be moved. Maybe move your right knee outside to the right as you are grounding your left hip down. And from here, your left hand grab a hold of the other edge of your right knee, and then start bringing your right knee to the left. I need to scooch a little bit towards you since I have a bunch of babies here. And you can just pull your right knee down towards the floor. If it feels too far away, you can put a bolster underneath your right leg. So this feels much nicer to me. And then the other variation, so this is for your twist. If you want, you can open your pec muscles, so creating 90-degree in your right elbow, and then you can have a block underneath, so you're opening but maybe not overdoing it. So your arm shouldn't be floating above the floor. So have something that will stop the floating if you are not able to ground your arm all the way down towards the floor. So this is our first twist variation. If you would like to go for cat pulls its tail, your right hand grab a hold of your left foot, the bottom foot, and then you're pulling your right shoulder blade down towards the floor, your shoulder down. And this is our final twist variation. So you can choose whichever works for you. I'm gonna start us on 2 minutes. And just breathe and enjoy. And just make sure you're not gripping anything. You can relax here as you are holding your twist. Very nice. Slowly release your bottom foot, or maybe lower your arm down from the block or bolster. Start bringing your right knee towards your chest, and then bring your left knee towards your chest. Lie down on the flat back and just give yourself a little bit of movement, resetting your spine, resetting your hips. Very nice. And let's set up for the other side. So literally mirror, ideally mirror the side A. So before we do that, So bringing your left knee towards your chest, extend your right leg forward, roll your left ankle, then add any additional movements that you did on your right side. And then slowly your right hand, start pulling your left knee to the right. Again, lower onto the bolster if it needed. Again, you don't want to have your leg hovering above the floor. Everything should be supported. And then you can create the 90 degrees in your left elbow if you did that, or grab a hold of your bottom foot. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Enjoy. Make sure you're pulling both your shoulders down onto the floor, no matter what shape are you in. Release. Slowly start releasing the bind if you have it. Releasing your 90 degree in your elbows. Start rolling onto your back. Give yourself a little bit of a reset of your spine, of your hips, whatever you need. And we are entering our second last posture, which is bound angle. So give yourself a little bit of rock and roll up and down. Massage your entire spine from your tailbone all the way to your shoulders. Okay, so if you did my previous class, this is the posture I always like to close my classes, because that's when people feel to relax. They feel like they relax the most. So it's similar setup to child's pose. If you're not doing really good with back bends, then I would probably recommend you to go on the highest level and then the middle level. Try it out, see how it feels. You can go the middle level and the lowest level, or you don't need, and then put a bolster on top. And some of my yoga students like to put blanket on top to support your head as well. For me, I love this posture without any props. I mean, without no blocks, just having my bolster long way. And then my lower back is touching the edge of the bolster. My glutes will be on the floor. You can just extend your legs and lie down like that, if that's what calls your name. You can also connect your feet together, open your knees, and again, put the blocks underneath your knees. This is a we're just honoring our parasympathetic nervous system, making sure that we are in it the entire time of the class. So you can choose what variation works for you again. So take your time, get situated, check where you may be holding tension or you need a little bit more support. And I'm already feeling that I'm getting cold. So I will put a blanket over me. And just make sure that my microphone is still working. And this is a time when I will put my eye mask on as well. If you can turn off your light, that's one way of doing it. I cannot because you wouldn't be able to see me. We'll do 8 minutes here, and then I will say goodbye, and feel free to still stay in your Shavasana. So let's just set up, figure out what works for you. What shape do you want to indulge in? Starting 8 minutes, putting my eye mask on. This time, if you like, you can have your palms up. Alright, we are entering our Shavasana. If this posture serves you well, please stay. If you need to remove any props to feel a bit more comfortable, you can do it now. Maybe extend your legs forward, remove the bolster underneath you. You can just lie down flat on the floor without any props. And I'm just gonna leave you here so you can stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me, your energy. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your day. Hopefully you receive what you came here for. Feel free to journal after this class. If you feel guided, hope to see you on your mats again virtually. Let me know in the comments how you like the class. I would appreciate your comment, your likes, your subscription. Thank you again. Namaste.